Blue Moon Blossoms, getting ready for class. Things to have on hand: iridescent paint, any kind of metallics. I like the iridescent medium, it's thinner. Magenta, any shade of pink, brilliant blue is fantastic. Dark blue, black will help make your brilliant blue a little bit darker for the dark part of the sky. I like black for the branches on this one. I still will throw in some teal or turquoise in the sky. And any additional colors that you want. Gloss mediums are completely optional. Do have a pencil. We will draw a tiny bit. Thicker consistency paints. If you have painted with me before, you know the speech. I like the thicker ones, especially for the moon that we'll be doing. We do want things to be a bit thicker for layering. Otherwise, these thinner ones, any of the craft ones, the thinner golden, if you're going for a higher quality, will give you some frustration for this piece. If you do only have the thinner paints, investing in a thicker white, Artist Loft is what I use because Michael's is down the street, but Blick is awesome. I'll order from them occasionally, and also Liquitex Basics. Golden has a heavier body. I suggest the gel medium for newer painters to get a little feel for it. Any of the mediums would be great. I use it a little bit in the moon, and then always I like to have a glossy final finish. I'll use the gloss as well to thin down my paints a little bit if they are too thick. And here are the brushes I will have on hand. The fan brush is optional. That goes back to the style of blossoms you may want. And if you have not taken my Blooming Blossoms class, it is available at your own pace for free. So I definitely take advantage of that. There are links in the notes to this video for you to access that. It is okay to trace, so grab something circular. That is the approximate size of the moon that you would like. If you want the extra challenge, go ahead and draw that moon yourself. I do in the instructional video on this, just kind of show how I struggle even with a circle. What are you painting on? I do like a good 12 by 12 square when I do a blossom painting, but these, do an 8 by 10 to start, maybe a 9 by 12 on mixed medium paper. I wouldn't go too much larger. It will take you longer to paint unless you have a lot of time to paint. Then definitely go larger. And portrait versus landscape, up to you. If you have that square, you really don't have a choice, right? Which way it would go. I do write my name on the back of the paintings. You can do that now or when you finish it up. I always love to have the date though, so I can remember, when did I do that? Have those larger flats available. This is a 3/4 inch. If you have a larger canvas, definitely use a 1-inch flat. The smaller flat will be fantastic for working on the moon. Also, the smaller round brushes are good for cratering in detail. If you have these textury brushes, they're fantastic for the craters and even blossoms. They look cool. Do not ruin your brush. Ways that you could do so easily with this piece is we'll be doing a lot of dabbing and just lots of paint, so you may find that your brush will get out of shape. So just be aware not to scrub too hard on it, but don't be shocked if it starts getting out of shape. Definitely don't leave the paint to dry in the brush or in the water overnight. Guilty, guilty. That's why I'm sharing with you. Remember not to ruin your brush. And sometimes it's tempting to use that tip to draw into the paint. Just make sure you wipe that off. Cleaning your paintbrush, it does take time. I really like to make sure I wipe as much paint off my paintbrush before I put it in water. There's my really gross paintbrush cleaning caddy. I've had it for decades. Definitely invest in one. I think they're like $15 or $20. It's worth it. Color choices. Get that inspiration tool out, the color wheel. Love this thing. It helps me see the different ways I can get to colors, give me ideas for colors. A primary color is red, yellow, blue. When I'm purchasing paint, I do use a deep magenta, deep yellow, brilliant blue as my primary colors. And here's how we mix into our secondary colors. I do love the flip side of that color wheel. This is where the fun is, where you can turn it, figure out complementary colors, split complements, triads. I won't really be using it for this painting, but I do like to have it to just in case. My favorite color is purple, so my direct complement is yellow, so I do have that in a lot of my paintings. We will do, gradiating through from the moon. Our blossoms will be a little bit lighter as it's closest to the moon and getting darker in values as it goes away down into the main branch of the branch. So tints and shades. Tints is when you mix with white. Shades is mixed with black, and we'll be mixing black in definitely with our blues to get a darker look of our sky. What size and where is your moon? Completely up to you. But that's the one planning thing we're going to do. Kneading the pencil, we're going to block out that moon. Where you place it is completely up to you. I did not take this photograph, so I have a little bit of credit over there on the left for that I snagged off the Creative Commons. Scale is the general size and parts. I wanted my tree to be a little bit bigger than my moon, but definitely I have two competing superstars here with the whole of the piece. And that's why I needed to think about perspective too and how it's spaced out. For me, with this particular one, I wanted to just like have a shout out to both the moon and the blossom tree. So they are, the blossom tree is a little bit spanning out more into the canvas, but definitely want it to look like it is in front of that giant moon. And so our background will be the moon, our foreground, we will want our blossom tree. You may not expand all the way out into the moon, but remember, we don't want to limit ourselves to that. So just knowing that you may or may not crash into your moon. All right, that's a lot. Reach out to me with any questions.